You are now listening to Wavy Sound.
Peace, family. Welcome to a members-only presentation of Versus Mike History. I am your host, Michael History, and today we have Nadira of the Gumbo in the building. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you
How are
for.
you?
I'm good. I'm great, actually.
We
Happy
love
that
that.
you're here. Thank you for
Yes, I'm
coming
very
on
excited.
the podcast. I appreciate you gracing your presence on this platform because I want my audience to hear everything that you have going on your
Okay,
side.
let's do it.
And yeah, we're just going to go ahead and hop right into it.
Yes.
First and foremost, let's let the people know who you are.
Yes, my name is Nadira Simmons. I am the founder of the Gumbo. It's a hip hop social club and media platform for and by Black women. So yeah, that's who I am.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and get into who Nadira is. You know, like what's the background story? What's the come up?
I don't know. Like, what do you? I'm trying to think. The
Like
background story to come up.
If we pitching a biopic, what's the?
Well, it would go all the way back to South Jersey for sure.
Okay.
Little me, definitely just like a big entertainment fan. Like I love TV, I love music. So if there was a biopic, it would literally start in Burlington County, New Jersey. It would definitely start right there.
Okay, awesome. Burlington County. How does that region form your opinion of like culture outside of what you're seeing on television?
Yeah. Well, it's different. I feel like I have a little bit of not a unique experience, but for me personally, so my dad is from Philly, raised in Jersey. My mom is from Maryland, and I was raised in a town that is actually, it's a suburb of Philadelphia. So I have a lot of like love for like go-go and like that music when it comes to music. And then I'm also, which I'm sure you see because we follow each other online, very big State Property fan. Like I love Philadelphia rap, I love Philadelphia soul, love the sound of Philadelphia, and just everything that comes with that. So that's kind of like my unique experience when it comes to just regionally being in a town that is in Jersey, is in South Jersey. And it's so funny, I didn't even know because I just went and looked up like our Wikipedia page a few weeks ago. It's funny, I was just telling my coworker this earlier, but I like was looking it up and I saw that our town is like a suburb of Philadelphia. And I went and like asked my sisters and my mom, like, did y'all know that our town? And they're like, yeah, Nadira. Like we're 20 minutes away from Philly. Like, yes, I didn't know that. But Jersey is so, it's just such a great place. And I think a lot of times, I'm sure you know, because you're from Newark, there's just a lot of different things that happen in Jersey. I think North Jersey is a lot different than South Jersey. I think regionally there are so many different experiences. So like as a kid, like I used to go to like farms. Like there are a lot of farms like by me. Like I definitely used to go to the farm for fun. There are a lot of farms by me that I can drive by. I also think being so close to a big city that's not New York, but kind of has like a different, just a different offering and a different value, definitely just shaped the way I like just a lot of the stuff that I like, a lot of the music I listen to, the shows that I watch, the TV shows that I'm really, really passionate and interested in. It's all kind of shaped by that South Jersey area.
Word. So what was like your I was about to ask you a question and then like your bags came into my head. Like I was like, what was your first experience with hip hop?
So
like, what was your earliest memories like?
That's so funny. My earliest memory of hip hop is being in the car with my dad in my car seat, and this is a very vivid memory. It's so funny that you asked me this because I feel like when people ask me, it's the first thing that comes into my mind. I can't remember what car he had. I feel like he had a red Nissan Altima. It's very, very vivid. If that's the wrong car, my bad, Dad. He'll probably listen to this. He listens to like everything I do. My bad if I forgot, but I was literally in the car and we were listening to Imaginary Players by Jay-Z. He loves Reasonable Doubt. So my earliest memory, that's like the first song I like knew the words to, and I think I was like 2 or 3. Like Amazing. Just like talking, my parents told me I was talking off rip, like to the point where they were like, Nadira, like you gotta stop talking. You're like, okay, like I'll be quiet. And they said I would just keep saying that I would stop talking and literally never like never stop talking. But that's like my earliest memory of hip hop is just being with my dad and listening to Hove and being in a car seat and just rapping all these lyrics to a song.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
That's all I could think of is you like in the back seat asking what's the difference between a 4.0 and a 4.6.
Oh, like actually doing that. It's very 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 funny. I think another memory I have, which we have on tape at my house, is a video of me, and I think 6 or 7 at this point, but rapping "Bling Bling" by Birdman and Manny Fresh. There's like footage of that. So that's the second memory. The earliest one is like Baby rapping Hove.
That's great, man.
Yeah,
that's such a
nutty.
That's such a good story. I just wasn't expecting that, but that's like a heartwarming.
Oh yes, we love that.
Yeah, that was a little touching. But okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the adolescence, and we have our earliest memories with music, but we start experiencing culture once we get a bit older and a little bit more mature. And I want to talk about like fashion wise, culture wise, films. Like, what are some things that influenced you early?
I feel like as a teenager, I used to do a lot of downloading on LimeWire, and I was addicted to that so much. Even my mom and dad, like they're also big on music, so they would be downloading music on LimeWire as well. We definitely broke many a computer to the point where like we would use FrostWire after they like canceled LimeWire. So like that's something culturally for me that I remember. I also think I would come home from school, like if I didn't have, because I used to do a lot in school. Like I don't even know why I did a bunch of sports and clubs, but it was great. Had a great experience. But I would come home and I would go on to, I think it was Creative Control was Dame Dash's site that he owned.
Yes.
And yeah, I would go on there. Or if I had something to do after school and my dad was already home, then he would have been on there and be like, oh, like this is what was up today. This is what's going on with DD172. So like that's another thing culturally for me, just seeing the way that people were kind of creating their own just like entities online. Like that wasn't really, I don't know, it was so good to like grow with the internet, because I don't think a lot of, I mean, unless you're like a millennial around a certain age, like you're kind of watching it happen, or you're just coming in where like you don't know anything else but the internet. And I think us growing with it and seeing these platforms like being created, so much, even with the Gumbo, but so much of what I do and so much of what interests me is like creating your own thing and just like going with it. So culturally, like that was the stuff I was into. The people who like were making their own like TV shows, the people who were making their own like music platforms, like, oh, we're gonna make our own website. We have all these big names who have been around forever, but now I'm gonna make my own like hip hop blog. So that type of stuff really influences me.
Right. And it's crazy that like that we like were in an era that saw that like sort of blossom. And no, I will speak for myself in saying that I thought that I would see that last much longer than it did. At least in the way that it was all coming together. But it kind of like died out. I feel like a lot of people got scooped up by a lot of corporate entities,
bigger companies.
But we're starting to see a lot of a nice resurgence of smaller, more niche platforms, and that's kind of why I have you here today.
Yay, yes.
So let's go ahead and move forward with sort of what were the experiences that led to you forming or coming up with the idea of the Gumbo?
Well, I think for me, I always knew that I loved music, and there was a period of time at Rutgers. I'm really through and through, like did not leave Jersey for so long. But during during my undergrad years at Rutgers, I worked for this hip hop platform called Goodfella Media. Shout out to them. I'm still friends with all the people that started that to this day. And I would do like hip hop journalism. So I would cover shows, or I would like write on breaking news, or interview different artists. And I definitely loved it, but I also knew that I had such a love for TV and I wanted to really explore that lane. But I also felt like there should be a place for people who love hip hop. And as someone who is a Black woman, I would notice that sometimes when I would tweet like certain hip hop opinions, I would have like men be like, all right, well, since I feel like I say this in every time I talk about this, why I started
Yeah.
the Gumbo, but like I would literally tweet like, oh, I love state property. And I'll never forget like people would just say stuff like, oh, well, like name all the members. And I'm like, I know all the members. Like I don't have to like name all of them, but just experiences like that, which I think any woman in any field or any room can relate to, is just, sometimes having, not even sometimes, having opinions and the possibility that you'll be questioned by a man, like, oh, like you like this thing that's deemed ours, well, like tell me, like I'm gonna quiz you or I'm gonna tell you this. So that was the first time I was kind of like I want to kind of like make my own club. And then when I graduated from Rutgers, I had a lot of friends who wanted to be music journalists, and it was disheartening to kind of see so many talented women and people, like they had all the talent, they had all the skills, and they had the experience, and they either weren't getting the roles, or they weren't getting paid to like contribute. And it was disheartening for me because, especially when you are trying to write and you're trying to get out there, you need clips. So sometimes, yeah, like I'm just gonna write this thing. This is a mindset that people will just write something for free or for nothing because they just want to get their words out there. So then when they do land a job, they have examples to show.
Right.
And that was just something that bothered me because I was very fortunate. Never in any of my internships or any work that I did was I, really, like I wasn't unpaid. Like it wasn't a thing. So I just found it, sorry, emails in the background. But I found it to be just a little cuckoo. I was like, no, like there are so many talented women out here, so many talented Black women, and especially when you think about the fact that hip hop comes from us.
Right.
It's kind of crazy that sometimes when you look, you don't always see so many of us. So I wanted to just create a space where, okay, people can consume this, they can enjoy this within the comfort of like-minded people and people who identify in the same way they identify. But also, if you want to like do some work for us, you will get compensated, you will get paid. If you have a thought, or you have an opinion, or you have an unsung quote-unquote hero or a person in this rap game that no one's written about because it's not what's happening at the very moment, like we want to pay you for this story or your contribution. So that's kind of how that came about.
Right. And you brought up something interesting that I want to touch on. You spoke about how like you spoke about your opinion online, and then men will come and like mansplain.
Yes, basically, yes.
I just want to I want to stay on the topic of like gatekeeping a little bit because in hip hop there is a tendency for men to feel like they have to gatekeep all of hip hop, I guess. But we're in this era where there are so many dope female artists, and there just isn't nearly enough coverage for them. Like I just feel like as much work as they're getting, they aren't getting covered nearly as much as they're working. And there are platforms out there that don't really cater to them. And I wanted to ask you, do you have a similar experience with the people who are attracted to the Gumbo and people who like are within the Gumbo?
A similar experience as far as like
the people who like come to your events, who come to your virtual dinners, do they have similar experiences with men sort of gatekeeping hip hop from them? And like
not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. And the one thing I will say, because someone also asked me this recently in another interview as well, I'm very explicit about what the Gumbo is and what it represents and what it stands for. And anyone who follows us, supports us, comes to Sample Sunday, attends a digital dinner, attends like any sort of virtual thing that we're doing, any other event that we're doing, we've never had an issue where someone has, done that because everyone supports the mission. I think that's what's so beautiful. And I think sometimes, especially, when you're doing stuff on the internet, we've been inside for the past 2 years, so a lot of stuff has been on the internet or has been remote. There is this pressure to make things quote unquote more palatable or more open to everyone. But I think you can be intentional in what you're doing and still have it be open and accepted and accessible to everyone. So I think because I'm just very clear and intentional. Like the Gumbo, we're celebrating these stories and these women and these artists, and not just framing them as unsung, just people we want you to know about, people who are important, people who have contributed, and people mess with that. They think it's cool, they think it's great. So there's never been an instance where someone has come to an event and tried to like school us, because it's just not, that's not the vibe we get, that's not the energy we give off. And everyone, I think because we are so intentional with our mission and what the purpose of the Gumbo is, they like it. In the same way, like we can be supportive of things that, okay, maybe this isn't my community or my people, but if I support the mission, hey, I'll see you there. Like I'll pull up. And I think that's what we need more of. It's just being intentional with what your mission is. And if people support the mission, they're gonna support you. So yeah, we haven't had no issues, thank God.
That's beautiful. Beautiful to hear.
It's great. Yeah.
Okay. So I want to move on to your virtual dinners, because you have one coming up.
Yeah.
And I just want to speak on like how you got started with that, and the evolution of it.
Yeah. So we did one with Red Bull. I'm trying to think, was this 2 years ago now? I think 2020 is so crazy because these years they mesh
together.
Yes. But we did that one, and it was just amazing. Like we literally had like the king of like just sitcom music, all of these amazing Black sitcoms. Kurt Farquhar, he's made all of the music. So the one thing we do at the Gumbo is we have editorial themes every month, and that month the theme, which are two things I love the most, TV and music, how they're intersecting, how TV and hip hop intersect. So he's done the song for Moesha. He's done just so many different sitcoms that are some of our favorites, and he was a guest. And then I had been thinking for months, I'm like, yo, like I really want to talk about Jersey Club. Like I know it's a niche. I know everybody that follows the Gumbo is not from, where I grew up. I get it. But like when I went to middle school dances, like that's what we listened to. Like that's what we danced to. When I went quote unquote away to college, 40 minutes away from home, like that's still what we listened to. My first memory at Rutgers is teaching somebody how to do I Like the Way She Moved in the middle of the quads, like on Livingston. Like that, it was something that was so essential to me. So we brought Unique, the queen of Jersey Club music. She's amazing, to come and sit with us. Yeah, shout out to her, to sit with us virtually and just talk about the field, talk about how it's evolved, answer some questions about her field. And for the longest, I've wanted to have April on, because again, while the Gumbo, we cover the rappers, there are also people who have contributed to hip hop who aren't rappers, who aren't lyricists. They're not making the music or they're not performing the songs, but you have someone who created a brand like Walkerwear. Like we want to talk to her. So that was something I pursued it for a while. We stuck with it, and I actually saw her at an event, and I was like, all right, like I gotta like go just go introduce myself to her.
This is my time.
Yeah. And she literally was like, email me, like I would love to do that. And it was perfect. Like it was something that at the top of my mind, I was like, I know like the next time we do this is somebody I want to be a part of it. So yeah, just a nice Sunday night. We do it on Sundays. We tell everybody to get some food, sit down, make yourself a drink, whatever you want to do. And yeah, we just listen to them talk. We answer some questions. We do a little scavenger hunt, or we do a game. We do some giveaways, and then we kind of chat at the end, and then we peace out after 2 hours. It's a good time.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Speaking of Sundays,
yeah,
I want to get into Sample Sundays.
Hey, yes.
Because Sample Sundays is an event, right?
Yes.
But isn't it also you do trivia that goes along with it on social media or something like that? Is that how it began?
Well, we do that. No, so Sample Sunday was like the first kind of social media just like idea that I came up with for the Gumbo, because I really, really love hip hop, but I also really, really, really love soul music, like a lot. And I naturally love sampling. I love listening to a song and like being able to figure out where like that came from. So I was like, let me just like make this as like a little series on our Instagram. We'll just do it every Sunday, Sample Sunday. Hey, we're here. And after a while, I was like, why don't we like do this as a party? Like, why don't we have people come and like listen to soul music, and especially like a lot of, at least at the time, like I wanted to go to parties. Me personally, I wanted to go to parties and hear like soul. Like I wanted to
Groove. You want
hear.
to groove. You don't
Yeah, I
want
wanted to groove a little bit and then still get a mix of the stuff that's newer that we're listening to now. But I was like, let's just try this. So yeah, we started that when we first started the Gumbo. Yeah, and it's still going.
wonderful to hear. Speak about your relationship with Old Babel for a while, for a bit.
Yeah, we approached them. I
Mhm.
emailed them years ago, just had an idea to do the event there,
Mhm.
and they were really, really down. So that's kind of been, just the place it's been at.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what's sort of the feedback, and what do people look for in terms of content creation and information that's presented to your audience? Like, what does your audience look from you at this point in your journey?
I think the biggest thing is learning. I think a lot of times, and the one thing I make sure we don't do at the Gumbo is like if Megan Thee Stallion drops a new song, we can
Mhm.
just retweet the song. We don't have to write an article about the song. We could post the song on our stories, or we could ask like, "Oh, who's listening to the new Megan Thee Stallion?" I think for us, we're not trying to be another like music journalism platform. That's not the goal for me, and that wasn't the vision when I created this. It was really a place to, all right, I want people to be able to 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now, if they have never heard of Miss Melody or Emil or whoever, there could be rappers today who are women that maybe 30 years from now someone might not know. I want them to be able to say, oh, like the Gumbo is the place to go like find that and like type in their name. So that's something for me. I want it to be more of kind of like a digital archive where you can go through our tweets, you can go through our Instagram, you can learn a little bit. Not just learn a little bit, you can learn something, you can learn more about something that you might have only known a little bit about, and you can also learn something new. And I think the biggest thing, it's an educational platform. So that's my like vision for sure.
Awesome. So you plan on doing more educational based, creating more educational based content in the future?
Yeah, I definitely see. I mean, we've done so well with the written work, and we did a
Hmm.
podcast last year, and I want us to just expand. I think there's a
Hmm.
possibility to dip into TV and to documentaries and to a bunch of other things. Like I'm someone who, again, I love music, and I love
Hmm.
being on kind of the outside of music and kind of listening to it and enjoying it and examining it and like historicizing it and archiving it and like researching it. Like that's really, really what I love, and I know that's what our audience loves. So I think just as the years go on, just dipping into all those other different realms of entertainment is really my goal.
Okay. Um, I guess I have a little curveball question for you, which
Okay.
is just how can men empower women in hip hop?
Oh, listen to them first and foremost. Listen to
Hmm.
them is the biggest thing, and I think that's how you can empower anyone is to listen to them,
Hmm.
not speaking over them, not negating what it is they're saying or they're feeling. I think listening is the most important thing. Putting your money where your mouth is, because the reality is like until money is not necessary for the world to function, and you have to be able to support people. So the same way, if an album comes out, someone's like, oh, like make sure you buy his single or you buy this, do that for the girls too. I think the biggest thing is listening and supporting, an actual physical support, sharing some music, retweeting some music, and putting your money where your mouth is, because a lot of times someone could tweet like, oh, I love such and such, or I support such and such, and it's good, you got your tweet off, you got your engagement, you got your likes, you got your retweets, cool. But everything you do has to be actionable, and I think that's just how people should think is, what am I doing that's actually going to be of a tangible change? What am I doing that's gonna really, really make a difference? Because a tweet is not making a difference.
Right.
Saying that you support women, it's like, okay, cool, like, So yeah, listen and put your money where your mouth is for sure.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Listen in all caps. Emphasis on listen. Because people be saying that they be listening, and people don't be listening. That just goes for anything. Sometimes people are like, yeah, I hear you. I'm like, you did not just listen to a single word that I said. You just nodded because you wanted to seem like you was listening.
Right. Well, what's on the docket for the Gumbo in 2022?
Well, there are definitely some things that I cannot really say. I'm also big on like, all right, like waiting until it's like the actual moment and then revealing it. I don't know. I get like, I'm trying to get better about that, but I get like really nervous with
No,
like
it's all good. If you
talking.
want us to wait till it's here, we can do that. We can do that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the biggest thing that people want from us for sure is more merchandise. So that is definitely one thing that we've just been working on, is making sure that we deliver on that, because people like rocking the stuff and wearing the stuff. Also more events and yeah, some cool stuff. Definitely more events. They're not seeing me wink, but
Oh man, this has been a wonderful conversation.
oh man, we already did. See, you were right. You're like, it's gonna go by so fast.
Yeah,
It really did. Oh shoot.
Yeah. This has been very dope.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm very, very glad we like got to get this done.
Absolutely. And you can feel free to come back to the show whenever you please.
Of course, let's do it.
And yeah, just let everyone know where they can find the Gumbo.
Yes, well, follow the Gumbo on Twitter and Instagram at TheGumbo. And if you want to follow me, you can. It's Hi Nadira. I feel like my handle sometimes is Hi. It's HINADIRAH. So
I'm not gonna lie, that throws me off sometimes.
It throws a lot of people off. It throws a lot of people off because I don't think people know it's a hi. They are like, what? Yeah, no.
I'm not gonna lie. This is a little dyslexic moment. I was like, is that her name backwards?
That's so funny. No, my name backwards is Harridan, and I know that because my mom has said it and like just says it as like a joke. Or she's like, you should name this your name backwards. Like she's definitely said that before, so I know that off the top. But no, it's just Hi Nadira, and yeah, I never changed it. But I like the mystery. I like that people don't really know. I like that it's like, oh, like what is actually your name? Like, oh, there we go.
Right. All right, and you guys can follow the podcast on Twitter at VS Mike History. I had a brain fart, excuse me. You guys can follow the podcast on Twitter at VS Mike History and on Instagram and the Fanbase app at Versus Mike History. Everything Versus Mike History related is at versusmikehistory.com. Please subscribe to the members only subscription tier. It's only $5 a month.
Oh yes.
And we're out of here. So peace, beautiful Black people. I will see you at the next episode. And thank you, Nadira.
Thank you. Bye, y'all.